What's up, Gangster Kitties? It's Matt Johnson. We're back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate business into a life of freedom. It's funny because that is the last thing I saw before we go live on Facebook is I have my Facebook Messenger open to my ever-present co-host, Greg McDaniel, and the last thing he said to me in a Facebook message was Gangster Kitties. And so I decided to kick off the show that way. My co-partner in all crime real estate related, of course, proverbially speaking, of course, we are not actually committing real estate crime, but we do, we feel like we get away with murder here on the show because we get to pretty much talk to our favorite people, and we have a great time talking about how to grow real estate businesses, which is always fun. So first of all, Greg McDaniel, welcome.
What is going on, man? I did not see that coming. I'm like, gangster kitties. Oh my! I am rubbing off on Matt. One of the funny things is Matt and I spend a ton of time together, right? And so last night Matt and I are going back and forth on Voxer, talking about our trip to Omaha here in 2 weeks. I think I asked him like probably 4 or 5 times, Matt, where are the dates are we going? Matt, what dates are we going? And his response was, oh my God, yes. Because I leaned into him on the Voxer thing. I'm like, Matt, are we becoming the old married couple? He's like, oh my God. That's the last thing I got from him for the rest of that conversation. And I was like, yep, that's pretty damn funny. I got to share that on the show tomorrow morning. But yeah, dude, we have got the legend himself, the Nick Sakkis here, guys. You guys, seriously, Matt and I literally shut up the entire pre-show. Nick just dropped bombs of knowledge, and we're just sitting there like, keep talking. I like it. Keep going.
More like save it for the show, man. Save it.
You blew your wad, man.
I was excited. I got excited. What do you want?
That's right.
It was great stuff. I can't wait to hear what you're going to bring out, guys. He's legitimately like going to break it down how he is getting just tons of leads for under $1,000 a month. I don't know about you guys, but I could spend $1,000 a month like that and cut out a shit ton of stuff and have appointments set, and I just go to them. You are baby Jesus and manna from heaven, all bundled into one little thing.
Maybe baby Huey. I don't know about baby Jesus. I'm working on that. I've been listening to you, Greg, and talking about your morning motivation and then getting healthy and doing things a little bit better. So I have consciously been trying to do that a little bit, but it's good to be home, gentlemen. This is the first time I've been on for 2018. We had a good run last year for 17, and actually, since we last left, I opened up my Facebook group, Real Estate Marketing Rockstars. First plug of the show, and we just hit about 1,000 members, which is totally awesome. I'm truly humbled, and I really, a year ago I wouldn't have believed that I would have 1,000 people following me and really taking in exactly what I've been doing and letting me help them in their marketplace. So it's been really, really awesome. And I would love to help anybody else who wants to be involved. It's an absolutely free group, and it's just been great.
Me. Pick me. I'm in the front. Me. If I was subtle about that, I'll
very subtle.
Yes, very subtle. But no, seriously, Nick, your group is fantastic. You drop incredibly good knowledge bombs with people. You bring a lot of value to the real estate community, and that's why we keep having you come back on, and we are so sorry. We have not had you on yet this year. We need to have you on on a regular basis because you really do bring awesome stuff. And I can't wait for today's show. It's going to be legendary, as our good friend Chris would say, from Legends and Losers. Another great podcast, by the way.
Nice.
So, Johnson Face, let's kick this bad boy off, man.
Well, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're going to talk about why it's better to buy a fully loaded Corolla than a Mercedes. And yes, that is an analogy. We're also going to talk about we're probably going to start, I think, with just some of the recent changes to Facebook because that's fascinating and it's been in the news a lot lately. One of my favorite, I was listening to Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew talk about it, and they were chuckling about how Zuckerberg has to go before Congress and basically tell a bunch of old fogies how he makes money off of something that's free. It's because we sell advertising.
That was the greatest comment. When I saw that live, he was so perplexed. He's like, we sell ads, Senator.
Like you guys had TV when you grew up, right? Like you guys realized that was free, and they sold advertising.
unbelievable. I tried not to get sucked into the video part of it. I had the audio playing for the couple of days that it was on. And the aha that I finally got after hours and hours and hours of listening, and I don't want to say it's like all of Congress. It just so happened to be the people that were on TV at this point asking questions, or like the whole government. But it was like the aha that I got is they just realized that Mark Zuckerberg basically created a whole nother country in a digital form that they have no control of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they just hit that realization that, holy shit, he's like the president of the digital world, and we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like, what do you mean? Like, we have no IRS can't tax this, and we can't do that, and like, there's no, like, they're freaking out, and they're asking all these dumb questions. And I'm like, they really don't understand. And then they're putting him on trial like he's the only person collecting data in the world. Well, Mr. Zuckerberg, do you believe that it's fair that you should be? He's like, I'm really surprised he'd be like, well, how about Google, and how about Amazon, and how about all these other companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies that do the same exact thing that I do? Where are they in this room? Why am I like? Why do I have a big target on my back? And he did it like an absolutely. He must have been coached, obviously. I'm sure, billionaire of what he is. But his net worth went up like $3 billion after that hearing.
Did it really?
Seriously?
Because he did so well. Because it was like normal people wouldn't have just sat there like a robot and just been like, okay, I built this. It's 10 years now, and you guys have no freaking clue what's going on here. They kept referencing like, well, it's an American, story of what you did from your dorm room, and he's like, yeah, I'm not in my dorm room anymore. This is a whole other ball game. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I employ thousands of people, and they're like, well, how would you answer this, Mr. Zuckerberg? He's like, it's a complicated answer. It's yes or no. It's yes or no. Well,
no.
I have to get like 1,000 people in a room and say, hey, guys, we need to work on this for a couple, weeks to figure this out. So it was.
Well, let's talk about how some of those things apply to, some of the way that they have responded to the scrutiny is really what's concerning the rest of us, because what we're looking at like things like Facebook Live views, like going down, then going back, up again, then going down again. Like we're seeing like our reach kind of be played with. In other words, like we feel like we're not in control of who really sees our posts. There's really no way at this point other than setting to see first to really kind of choose who we interact with and who we see on our Facebook feeds, at least. So they seem to be tinkering around a lot all of a sudden behind the scenes as a result of this. So what are some of the things that you're seeing, and what can we do about it?
So for one, like I referenced the whole like building a digital country on top of the country. And I think it's really important because even last year I told you guys, and shame on me, I've had a lot of stuff going on. I haven't implemented this into my business yet, but I still truly believe that Facebook groups going forward are the place to be. And that's almost like you're creating your own city or your own town, right? If Facebook is the United States or the world, your group is your stratosphere. It's your place that you can actually control and manage who you want to talk to and what you want to do. So I think groups are going to be more and more important as we move forward, and having stuff like, like I created the group. I haven't put anybody in yet. It's Sakkis Group VIP. So it should be like McDaniel VIP or Matt Johnson VIP, whatever your business is, whatever your team is, you should have a VIP page. You invite all your past customers, your clients, your database, and talk to them inside that platform, just like we're doing in here, camera, face-to-face. And that's going to be the easiest way for you to actually build momentum and get those views back, because Facebook still promotes groups heavily. That's one thing they're very, very keen on. That's one thing they want to see in the future. So as far as organic, that's definitely the place to be is inside groups. Now, as far as what we're seeing on the targeting side, on the ad side, the third-party data is what's really freaking out, if you will. It's the stuff that Facebook was collecting outside of Facebook, and it's really it kind of hits us in the haunches, if you will, for real estate, because we counted on a lot of that data to do targeting for ads, meaning like what's the net income of the household, like are you a home owner itself, like some of the stuff that we were doing for ads is being completely taken away, and I think it's going to be taken away completely in 3 months, because that was really the biggest thing. And what we're seeing now is like I can pull up an audience that I had 6 months ago or a year ago that might have had 80,000 people in it. That was a targeted group. Like I put this over a zip code, and these are the targeted people. That same group, if I went to recreate that today, would have 20,000 people in it.
Whoa.
So they're stripping away that really targeted content. And I saw that about a year ago. And what I started doing is not relying necessarily on the targeting, but working on the ads more, and specifically who I'm talking to in the ad, instead of saying like just throwing out this generic, ad to try to cover 25 miles. It's a specific ad for your neighborhood. And it's a lot more work to do that. Instead of having one Facebook ad running constantly, you might have to have 4 or 5. But that's the way we're winning now, and that's the way you're going to have to win in the future. And I don't want to say this like to be a dick or anything, but if you're not able to run Facebook ads now, this is like the golden era. Like in 3 months or 6 months, when that third-party data is gone, you need to be in like a group like mine, or listen to a podcast like this every single day to find out the updates, because targeting is changing as we know it. So if you're not absolutely killing it now, in 3 months, you're really going to be lost, because what you've done up until this point for the past couple of years is completely changed.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's funny how we rely on Facebook so heavily, and that we're at their whim. If they've changed, we have got to adapt. Why? I mean, I saw a while back last year, all of a sudden, I saw my Facebook followers just nosedive. I mean, it went into free fall. Finally stabilized at 7,500 and is slowly coming back, but it's a fight every day. Why did they go and cut everything out? What was the reason for that? And I want to get back to the view counts. Why did those drop off so significantly?
I think at that point, that was when the election stuff was really hitting, before the whole, because the reason he's in front of Congress is the Russian ads. And they talked about, how could you let somebody or a whole country come in here and take over and run ads when you didn't even know it? And he's like, well, we have an algorithm that watches all the ads, but we can't possibly have the manpower to actually put a set of eyeballs on everything, right? And so about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, when we had that conversation, you're like, dude, what's going on? Like, why is everything dropping out? I think that's when they first started to realize, was about a year ago, 8 months ago, that we lost control of basically our reach and how much content was actually coming in and what we could view. So they started restricting things. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the first step before it really hit the public, because that's right when I had the Instant Social Proof program, and I was pushing out, thousands of people trying to, or not trying to, but actually liking your business page. And it was like, we stepped in and we said, oh my God, I'm getting 10,000 people to like my page. And then 2 months later, they're either 2,000 people are out of there or gone, or 3,000 people are gone, or the reach that we were getting the month before wasn't there. And it was like, what's going on? And I think that was a lot of behind the scenes before it really hit the public that, hey, they're really getting in trouble with Congress and they have to just take the reach back. And that's when I started seeing some transition to Instagram and all that as far as advertising. And now people are really talking about Instagram being like the golden organic platform, which it is, but it's funny to me because it's still owned by Facebook. So like, if you don't like what Facebook
makes Instagram any different in terms of organic reach? Is the Instagram algorithm somehow better at serving up the actual friends and family we want to hear from versus brands?
So the general way that Facebook works and why people were switching the platform is they didn't like to see as many ads on Facebook, so they would go to Instagram, and less people were advertising on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Right? So it seemed like more of a wholesome platform, and it seemed like an easier way for you to connect with your friends without seeing people like me advertising every 5 minutes, right? So we're going to see that transition over to Instagram now that people have shifted a lot and it's starting to get more public view, that there's going to be more ads in there. But I think when Facebook first came out 8 months ago and all the election and everything happened, and they said, we are going to promote people who actually interact with their friends, and businesses are going to be on the back burner unless they pay. Right? So your business page sucks unless you pay, which it's pay to play now, 100%. And unless you promote organically, which you guys have been talking about from the very beginning, use your Facebook or personal page to document what you're doing, and I'm totally for that. But as far as to scale that, you still need a business page to run ads and do all that stuff. But when you transition over to Instagram, it's definitely more of a person-to-person relationship. You have the people searching every single day. It's like a beautiful combination of Google pay-per-click and traditional Facebook ads, where you have the search capability where people are searching for hashtags every single day, and then the organic ability because it's people to people instead of that big mighty business coming down to you. So it's like a perfect blend of goodness in a platform, and I think that's why it's really starting to take off.
You know something on Instagram? I've been putting a concerted effort in the last several weeks, if not about a month or so now, to spend a lot more time and energy on Instagram stories, and then to make a concerted effort to post 2 to 3 or maybe even 4 or 5 a week, like cool, something fun and interesting to see on Instagram with the hashtags. The stories are getting substantial viewership. I mean, I look at my viewership from yesterday. I had one of my higher ones. I had like almost 500 views on me walking around my complex, me talking about what I'm doing, right? Not that sexy. But that same story on Facebook had 14 views. Yeah. And I'm like, the fuck is going on here? And I'm having more interaction. Yeah, I'm having more personal interactions on Instagram on the messages. I'm talking with more people there than I am over on Facebook, but they're two totally different groups. Like there's a little crossover, but not a lot.
Right. And I think what's interesting, and that's why one of the reasons why I love marketing is like the psychology behind it. So why are people engaging on Instagram more than Facebook? And if you think in my, I guess, layman brain terms, the way I've kind of put it is Instagram is still a natural and not fake platform, meaning like you pull out your phone, it's a document of your life. Like you're not going through Adobe editor and doing this perfectly, commercialized video to get in touch with people. It's real, it's raw, it's from your cell phone, it's on the fly. And I think that's that human to human connection that people really like, the behind the scenes, the what are you doing day to day, instead of like the perfect picture. Like I look at, Greg, you've been doing an awesome job. I'm trying to implement more Instagram like story time and stuff into my business. I feel like I'm more boring because I'm not showing as many houses with a team and stuff, and I'm doing more stuff in my office. So it's like, hey, look at this wall I'm in front of today. Like, hey, here, look at this wall I'm in front of. So it's like you got to be kind of cool and slick with it like you do. So you're previewing houses and doing all that stuff, which is really cool. But at the end of the day, I think that's why that people just absolutely are following more and more people because it's real and it's raw, and that's where everybody likes it. So that's your behind the scenes. Instagram's your behind the scenes. Facebook is now your commercial, and then YouTube is like your Netflix, if you will. If you want to have a real published story, that's kind of the 3 steps.
Dude, there was I watched a Tom Ferry video the other day about how to get more engagement. And it's true. He talked a lot about emotional stuff. So, I mean, what I'm trying to do is I work from my house, right? So I'm like you, Nick. I'm like, dude, I do not have that sexy of a life. I have got to go force myself to go do different things. So when I get out, I'm like, ooh, opportunity. What can I document, right? And so, like, I went to, if you go to a taco shop or a new restaurant, force yourself out of your area. If you drive past a business, take a photo, do a video, be a man around town, but creating motion around it. Years ago, when I moved into my house here, I did a post about, hey, I'll pay $1,000 to anyone who gives me a referral. I thought I was going to get my door knocked down with leads. Crickets.
Yeah.
Then I posted a picture of just my barbecue. Just the barbecue. I said, hey, who's up for some BBQ? Dude, just comments coming out of my ears because it was an emotionally charged thing. People were like, I'll bring the beer. Who has the chicken? I bring steak. I only eat vegetables. But it was the emotion behind it. And
plus our BS meter is really high now, right? If people understand, they know when they're actually being sold on something, when you're true, when you're, people can tell now very, very quickly what your intent is, whether you're live or, putting a post on it or whatever. So there's that definitely in effect.
That's why, my BS meter has definitely increased being business partners with Johnson. It had to. He's just shaking his head. Come on, I can't believe you didn't beat me to the punch on that. Come on.
I know. I'm slacking off. I guess I'm having an off day. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Oh, man. But I do love that analogy, Nick. So Instagram is behind the scenes. YouTube is your Netflix, and Facebook is the what?
Facebook's like your commercial. So it's like not quite as a big production as Netflix. It's not quite as long. Maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And then your YouTube video is like your 10-minute, 20-minute, real story, real high-level production where people expect, and this is a perfect example. So, like, we're live in Facebook right now, and Facebook only transmits broadcasts in 720p, right?
Really?
YouTube is at 4K. So when you think of that, that's movie theater quality, right? Facebook, we're at commercial quality. We're 720p. It looks good on a cell phone. If you put it up on a 60-inch screen, it would look pretty shitty, right? And then Instagram is really just your story behind the scenes because it's real raw from a cell phone. If I could hack into Instagram and do lives and stuff from my desk, I would, but they just protect that. It's still from your phone for now anyway.
So here's something that I've been really debating on because I keep beating my head against the wall, and I only keep coming up with a couple of ways to do this. But to TriCast, I mean, because you can do Facebook Live from your computer, you can do it live from your phone if you want to as well. But you should really be going live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and try to do it at the same time so you can kill 3 birds with 1 stone.
Yep.
I mean, how can you do this for technically challenged individuals who want to get a larger viewership and build a content library, but they don't want to do it 3 times over? Yeah. I mean, I was talking with one of my coaching clients this morning about it, just browbeating his ass on, look, start fucking doing video, or you will become Father Time, and the younger generation will blow you away.
Yeah, speaking of that younger generation, I did a little video in my group last week talking about Generation Z. It's a whole new generation. Like we were talking about millennials, and that's all we've been talking about is millennials for like the past couple of years, right? Well, there's a new genre in town. There's a new age group. It's Generation Z. It's basically 95 to 2010. They accounted for 3% of all home purchases last year. So they're already here. They're already buying homes. And one of the things that was really interesting, they do like to communicate via text first. This was a poll done. I can't remember. I think Berkshire Hathaway or one of those home services. They like to be text first, but they also like face-to-face communication, but not in the way that we think, like, hey, come to my office and meet in the conference room. No, it's this. Yeah. It's Zoom. It's live conferencing. It's FaceTime on your phone. That's how they want to communicate. So that's very, very interesting to me. So if you're really, we beat the video horse to death, but that's how the next generation is coming up and how they want to communicate is via video. So if you're afraid of video now, I mean, just I don't know, go do something else because it's really definitely not the future. It's now 100%.
So how can we TriCast? And when I say TriCast for everyone listening, it means shooting to 3 different platforms in one sitting.
Right. So, you talk about Live Leap. I know you use that, Greg, which is inside of Facebook, right?
Right.
So you can cast to as many groups as you own. Which is pretty cool. And then you can obviously share inside Facebook to different groups. Like right now I'm sharing this on my personal page and inside my group as we're here live, which is cool. But then if you wanted to go on YouTube, let's say you want to do YouTube, Twitter, I don't know if anybody does Twitch. Instagram is still its own platform. It's tough. You still have to have your cell phone out. Right. But there's services, there's companies out there. There's one that I'm getting ready to use. I haven't put all this together yet, but it's called Restream. And I think it's REA Stream, if not RE Stream, one of those two. But they allow you to syndicate. So the biggest problem with doing that, Greg, and it's a great idea and everything, but most people, their laptops can't handle that kind of production and that kind of stream and the bandwidth that it takes. So if you were to have a platform and you were to actually syndicate out to all those platforms on your own via an API key, you would need a $5,000 PC, like a gaming PC with multiple video cards, and like it's very, very expensive to do that. So what Restream does is they allow you to connect via API, and you only have to stream to them. So it's one stream. It's very low maintenance on your computer. Most computers can handle it nowadays, and then they syndicate it out from there. So they can go to Twitter, they can go to YouTube, you can go to Twitch, you can go to different Facebook groups from there, and it's like $30 a month.
Oh my God, we are so signing up.
Yeah, so it's super, super convenient. And that's one thing we talked about. I'm upgrading my computer and stuff now because of what I'm realizing getting more into video, and you do this, is like a regular laptop is tough to do real video production. So you have to almost have like a gaming PC type of thing. So it's not for everybody. But when you can get that and you can stream multiple locations, you can win. At the same time, you can do Restream with your cell phone. So like you don't have to have all this super fancy equipment. It's just connecting with them as an app.
So I want to talk about Twitch here really quickly. That's something that has come across my bound. Twitch used to be just for games and gamers and stuff like that, but they're making a shift because you're starting to build your tribes within Twitch, and it's not they don't really know where they're going to go with video quite yet with that. Yeah. But it's let's talk briefly on that, because then I know we want to jump into how to market under $1,000. But keep your antennas perked up, guys, for Twitch. It is, well, Nick, you describe it. I'm a baby in understanding exactly what it is, and I talked to Matt about this, and we're both just still kind of perplexed. We're like, how in the heck can we use Twitch, and how can we get our own tribe there?
It's just like anything else. It's a content zone.
Greg, I've just never asked myself that question. Greg, you are the only one. You were asking me that question, and I'm saying I don't care.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking infuriating.
But Matt's confused. He's wearing a Hurley shirt with a blazer, so he's like real estate on top and Twitch underneath. Like he really wants to be a gamer, but he's not quite sure.
It's a fashion. It's a what do you call it? A fashion mullet. Business on the outside, party on the inside.
Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Dude, I have like 20 polos in different colors. It's the same shirt, just 20 different colors. So like I'm anti-fashion. Anyway,
don't tell
Twitch
Matt that.
It's just another content zone. So if you can get there and you can build an audience just like you can anywhere else. It's a little bit more tough because you got to think of it in terms of being very entertaining on Twitch, because that is a place for entertainment, for gaming. So if you come on and you try to do this show and do like a business show, I don't necessarily know if that would take off immediately. But if you try to gear it more towards like the real estate side of things and the beautiful homes and the kind of the cool part of the job, you could probably get some viewership and some stuff there. But it's millions and millions and millions. I mean, there's 12-year-old kids making six figures, by having different video games that they play, right? It's so fascinating to me. I even almost went into business with a guy last year because I still think it's there, and I don't know if I should say this, but anyway, I think in 10 years, I really think in 10 years that you're going to go to your local stadium, wherever, the Rams play or whatever, like the Bucks play at, and on Sunday the Bucks play, and on Wednesday, here comes League of Legends, and here's all the League of Legends teams, and you're going to sit on the 50-yard line and watch these nerds play video games, and there's thousands of people there. And they're doing this now all across the world, right? This is happening across the world. It's not necessarily the United States.
So thousands of people are showing up to a stadium in person to watch a giant flat screen of other people playing video games.
Yes.
It's a huge
You realize this is the nerd
100%. It's Nerdvana, and I'm telling you, guys, there's a business, there's a market. There's bars and stuff that are shutting down for nights, and they have game night, where you're not allowed to come in, like sports bars. You're not allowed to come in unless you flash your handle that you were on Twitch or whatever. Like, it's only gamers that can come in, and they're packing these fucking restaurants out, these bars with people. Like, there's such a need for it. And I do think in 10 years we'll look back on this episode, and maybe I'll be a king of the mountain. I think own a couple of stadiums or something.
We're going to look back at Ready Player One as a fun and amusing documentary.
Oh, wasn't that cute?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have officially dorked out
so
heavy on this.
We have dorked out, but I want to get back to the fundamentals a little bit of the stuff that won't, because Greg nerds out on the stuff that will change. I like nerding out on the stuff that doesn't change.
Yes.
Because this is the skills that we can master that will actually work and actually generate business. So let's talk a little bit about what things are not going to change and some of the fundamentals of marketing.
So, marketing will not change. Sales will not change. People wanting to work with other people will not change. Here's my take, and I know that, and I didn't say this before we got on air, but I'll say it now. I know Greg is a rock star cold caller, right? Cold caller, warm caller. He's created a whole genre of people that watch him on a daily basis make cold calls. Now, that's great. And I'm part of Keller Williams. I drink the Kool-Aid. We have Bold. They tell you to come in and make all these phone calls and get your triple line dialer and do all these things. And that worked 10 years ago. It still works now if you're Greg McDaniel and you're the 1%. And what I mean by that is I do not believe now in this day and age that the average realtor can come into the business and bootstrap, and cold call people and take that rejection on a daily basis. It takes a very special individual to be able to cold call and get their teeth kicked in every single day. And so I literally worked for a company before I got back into real estate, and that's what I did for 8 hours is cold call businesses. Okay, I was a business-to-business guy, and I was trying to sell my products to other businesses. So when I got into real estate, my mom was like, "Oh, good, you're a cold caller now. You're going to ramp our business up." I said, "Fuck that. I'm not calling anybody anymore. I'm going to figure out a way to do this differently." So when I got back in, I started studying the market and see what other people were doing, see what other industries were doing, and I realized that with a budget of about $1,000 or less, I could be a dominant player in my market with specific marketing. Okay, and I think that is a very teachable skill. That's what I'm doing inside my group. I even have another group which is called the Platinum Group, which we'll get into. It's a 6-week course I'm creating. But I think marketing nowadays is a very teachable skill. We're trying to be that 1% that we've done for 40, 50, 60 years in cold call. The market has spoken. The do not call list is real. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe there's many realtors that can get dinged $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 for a cold call and survive and stay in this business.
Well, it's also becoming significantly more effective. I mean, even 2 to 3 years ago, like 3 years ago, I could call the whole day, and I would get phenomenal results. I'd get good contact. That has dropped off like a weight in the last year and a half. I mean, it is Middle Earth during the middle day. There's nobody around, just crickets. And I keep saying, like, this is going to be an inefficient way to reach people in a very short amount of time. It's a skill set that I was learned 18 years that I was learned. Good, I have great grammar and speaking abilities. That I was taught.
I wasn't going to say anything, Greg. I thought it was funny that you pointed it out.
I'm like, I learned. No,
I'm good at mouth using and book learning.
Learning a book. But I mean, realistically, I mean, it's something that I do now to basically entertain and encourage people to go out and do things that's difficult. But it's something that I see as little as 1 to 2 years. I mean, it's going to be so ineffective that it's not even worth doing. And you're going to get more and more violently angry people on the other end of the phone. Yeah. When you can get a hold of them through content providing content, bringing value to other people, like Nick, what you're doing. I mean, I think that is the way to go in the future, 100%. And it's not going to hurt my feelings.
What's happened, Nick, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what's happened is it used to be in the 80s and 90s, it was extremely direct. It was essentially a 2-step process. You pick up the phone, you call until somebody says, yes, I'll meet you. You go and meet them, you build trust, rapport, you close deal, period. 2 steps, right?
Yep.
Now we seem to be adding multiple steps. Now we have created social media has created a world for ourselves where we use social media as a shield to not have to get those calls, right? So for marketers, like, it's changed to the point where we've added another step in there where there's the social media step of all the authority building, the visibility, the relationships, and all this stuff to get them on the phone, to get them to an in-person appointment, right? So we've added this whole other step to what used to be a very simple 2-step process. And right now, Greg, like you mentioned, like, there's a little bit of time where those 2 steps are still working for a small group of people.
Very, very small. And I mean, Matt and Nick, when I got a referral just the other day from a viewer of the show, because of the content we've been providing, Matt. He's like, hey, my dad's, stepmom just passed. There's they're going to be selling the unit. It's a nice unit. It will sell like that. $800,000 unit. And it was because of content, not because of me getting a hold of them on a call. It was because of being in front of social media. Like you said, Matt, there's that additional layer, that additional step. It might be the trust building step that, maybe we don't have or haven't built yet. So I don't know.
Well, plus I think the general public, I mean, it's so easy to pull out your phone and shoot a video. It's almost like, I think if I try to, again, the psychology, I love thinking about what the buyer goes through or thinks about. If I was to take a step back, and I'm not a business person, I'm not a just marketing guy or whatever, it's so easy for me to pull out my phone and communicate. If I'm talking to a business that's not doing that, why are you not doing that? Mm-hmm. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. I, as a consumer, can do that. So you, as a business, supposed to be up here. Like, businesses are supposed to be like looked at and viewed as these bigger things than just a person. Why are you not doing that? Is the question. And if you're not, somebody else is. I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna be attracted to that person because that's just how the world works now. So it's definitely powerful.
Well, dude, it's just like this. If you see the hot chick in the bar and you're like, ooh, the hot chick in the bar. I'm not going to go talk to her. Some other dude is, all right?
Yeah.
And you're going to go home and cry into your beer. It's the same thing with doing the video. I just love making Matt just like twitch.
Greg likes talking about the hot
just
girl at the
waiting
bar.
for this analogy to get exponentially worse. That's all. That's all.
I did dial that back. I'm like, and I'm going
you.
to stop there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so do all of our female viewers, all two of them.
The cold caller would walk up to that girl with the zipper down and say, "Hey, check me out."
Yeah.
The marketer would wink at her from across the room, send a drink, and then approach her in 10, 15 minutes. Right?
So you're saying I just walk around with my dick out?
I'm saying that if you're cold calling, your wang is out, and people don't like it anymore.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, man. Okay.
So how about that for an analogy?
Oh, I have so many mental images now that are horrible.
I know. Well, Nick, lay the analogy on the audience that we were talking about in pre-show.
All right. So if you're watching this and you have no idea and you're like, okay, well, I know this is the 1,500th time I've heard this and I need to market my business, but I have no freaking clue what to do. And so the average person, and what I found from polling my group and the people that follow me, is that they get into this and they say, okay, I know I need to do something, but I don't know what to do. And they watch a podcast like this, and they hear somebody like, say, Jeff Cohn. I love Jeff Cohn. I don't know him personally. I've never met him or even talked to him, but I admire what he's done with his team. He spends $7,000 a month on his marketing budget on Google AdWords. So people come in and they say, well, Jeff's got this huge team, his big success. They don't hear that he spends $7,000 a month. They hear that he has Boomtown. And they say, oh, well, I need to go get Boomtown, and so or something like Boomtown, and then they realize Boomtown's $1,500 a month, and they say, okay, I don't want to go to Boomtown because I can't afford that. Let me go to the next best thing, and maybe it's $500 a month, and I need this big fancy IDX website, right? So they get this big fancy IDX website, which is like going to the Mercedes dealership and saying I want a $70,000 car, right? And then you realize once you get to the dealership that yes, you can buy that car, but you know what? If you want it with the engine, it's really $100,000. And so now you have a car in your driveway. You have this $500 website, but you don't have any traffic. You're not spending any money to get traffic to your website, which is like having a car without an engine. So now that your car's sitting in the driveway and you're sitting in it every day and you're so excited, you're behind the steering wheel, you're like, man, this is going to be awesome when I can finally get the engine and start driving. And maybe you save your money for 6 months. And like me, when I first had my first website, I spent 6 months developing the website thinking that when I turned it on, leads were just going to come to me, right? So you spend 6 months behind the wheel in the driveway with no engine, and then all of a sudden you put the engine in there. You're like, all right, I got some traffic. I'm gonna spend $200 a month on traffic, and everybody in my area is going to want to buy a house from me. And then you realize that that's not enough money to really do anything. And even if you do have some traffic, you're not doing any conversion on the back end to follow up with these people, which is like putting gas in the car. So you need the frame, you need to have the car, you need to have the engine, and you need to have enough money to put gas in it to run the thing every day. So instead of going out and buying the $70,000 Mercedes, which is the big fancy IDX website that you hear someone like Jeff Cohn using, why don't you come to a world like mine where I spend less than $1,000 and I have a fully loaded Toyota Corolla that runs like a fucking top, and I get the traffic, and I have the lead conversion, and I have people coming into my world every day, and they're very specific landing pages. So we're not talking about a big, giant, bloated website with thousands and thousands of different links and neighborhood tours and all this crap, because that's the other thing, too. People are like, well, I'm going to build on my website and get all this SEO. Well, if you don't sell a house in 3 years, you're not going to be in the business for the SEO to really even kick in. So why are you spending $20,000 on your site to get SEO value? You need business now. And the only way to get business now in this day and age for under $1,000 is to really have highly sophisticated, what's called a sales funnel or a landing page, where when you send that dedicated traffic to that page, they only have one button to click. There's no other options. It's not, let me see the houses in this neighborhood or that neighborhood, or find your home valuation, or get my ebook. It's, I showed an ad to this person who's interested in this one thing, and I'm going to land him on this page for this one thing, and he's going to say, thank you for showing me this one thing. Here's my information. And by the way, since you've exactly put down exactly what I'm looking for, I'll be happy to answer the phone when you call, or send a text, or Facebook Messenger link, or any of the things that you have to do nowadays to make it happen. So I fully believe that every real estate agent should be driving a Toyota Corolla, not a Mercedes-Benz.
So Nick, $4,000 realistically, what could someone expect, like lead count coming in on a monthly basis? Because there's always quantity versus quality, and everyone who has a half a brain says quality, not quantity.
Yeah. So, and that's interesting to me too, because I'll argue till I'm blue in the face with Google pay-per-click guys, and everybody asks me like, what's the best traffic source and where do you go? What do you do? Well, I've tested everything, and at this point, an online lead is an online lead. Okay, and you might be one step ahead with a search intent lead like a Google pay-per-click, and people say Zillow, but Zillow's out of the equation. I don't know why people think Zillow leads are so much heavier or better than any other lead, but it's not. You might get an extra edge on the search intent for Google, but the reason why I love Facebook is because you can still get an ad if you know what you're doing for under $10. That's not everybody. If you go through my training, you should be able to get a lead between $5 and $10 on average. Okay. And if you're targeting that lead properly, then it doesn't take 90 days for that lead to come to fruition because you're targeting the person that's active in the market. And the thing that I love about Facebook over Google is I'm not paying $15 or $20 for the lead, so my lead cost is in half. Plus, I have the added bonus of branding, which you cannot do on Google. They see my face over and over and over, and now you're creating brand loyalty and getting leads at the same time, which is why I absolutely am still balls deep on Facebook.
Yeah.
So many phallic references in the show today. I love it.
Just because it's uncensored. I don't know why. I don't usually cuss as much. I'm just all jacked up on caffeine, I guess.
Oh, I love it. You're part of my tribe now. We're still working on converting Johnson face, but we'll get him. We'll get him.
Wait, I'm not converted into your tribe yet. Is that the deal, Greg? I think I got sucked in like a
vacuum in space.
Yeah, like Dorothy into the tornado in Kansas. But so I feel like I'm in the tribe. I may have one foot out of the tribe, but I'm in the tribe.
Oh,
but yes, I do love that analogy, and Nick, basically everything that you said is spot on and proven by guys like Jeff Cohn that have spent multiple six figures, both of their own money and of their lender-vendor partners, in all kinds and all forms of online lead gen. And one thing that's interesting I talked to Jeff about the other day was that he has essentially cut off everything except for Google AdWords, Craigslist, which is only a smaller percentage, and then to a lesser extent Facebook ads driving to his website. All the other stuff that he was tinkering around with, they don't put money into any of that stuff anymore. So I think you're spot on with that stuff. They've also noticed the same thing. Now, other people that I've talked to, other top team leaders, do claim a much higher difference in conversion on Zillow leads in their area. And I mean like specific areas like the DC metro, like stuff like that. For the most part, Jeff Cohn's tested this as well. He hasn't seen any higher conversion rate on that either. Just a lead is a lead is a lead. I think the future, and you're dabbling in this as well, is just skipping the part where you have to put them into a washing machine of call, weed out all the people who don't care and don't want to talk to you and hate the fact that you called, and let's just skip to the people that are actually interested and let's get them into appointments. And that's something that you're investigating and are putting together right now. So people can learn more about that when they connect up with you and they join the Facebook group and all that stuff. But to me, that's the future is let's make online the washing machine, not our personal time of picking up the phone, only to get essentially make 150 calls to close one deal, which by the way is the actual number over, let's see, I think it's at this point over 200,000 phone calls over the last 2 years in Jeff's team of 30 plus agents, and probably 1,500 deals closed. It took them 150 calls for every deal closed. Hopefully in the future, those are calls. Those are just actual calls. Well, no, I'm not talking about dials. I'm talking about actual
contacts, like you're connecting with someone.
Like, and I don't want to confuse people or say that. So let me take a step back, because I don't want that to be the only thing that people hear is like boomtown bad, landing page good, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tailored to the specific agent, meaning the average agent that comes in the market is only spending about $500 a month on average. I know this. I've talked to too many people. That's an average. So if you're in that camp, which probably 85+% of the agents are in, then you need to look at a program like mine and not a big team programmer, a big team person that's spending $7,000 a month on AdWords, because if my budget was $7,000 a month, sure, I'd have Boomtown, because I'd have thousands of leads going to that page every single month, and it'd be okay if I lost a few because they'd be clicking around and doing all those things. When you're only spending $500, you have to treat those leads like gold because you're not getting thousands. You can get a couple hundred, but those couple hundred need to count, and they need to count big time, and you need to track those people from start to finish, and you cannot do that effectively, in my belief, with one of those big bloated idea sites. You need to go and create a sales funnel, which is a ad specifically tailored to a page, specifically tailored to the follow-up, and it's a system from top to bottom, and that's what I'm trying to create for people.
I think, I found something. I don't have the full, I don't have your Toyota Corolla built yet because you're going to help me do that. But
mine's got neon lights underneath.
Ooh. Is it green? I love me green neon. But, the thing is like I have a system right now called Agent Legend. And they are doing some follow-up for me, and it's hoping that conversion, from lead, immediate response, hammer for 3 days. It's a great, stopgap, but I can't wait to start working with you and your crew and really building this and getting my team involved with this, because I would much rather have the customized lead generation and not have to browbeat them. I think the consumer would like not to be browbeat either. I think they're going to be very happy. Like you said, they're going to be like, hey, you gave me what I asked for. You didn't harass me. Of course I'll take your call.
Well, interestingly enough, so I am partnering with Agent Legend too. I'm building a team with them. So just for people like inside my group that can't really afford to do the high level, have an ISA type of thing, or somebody like on lead gen every single day, I still think that having something like Agent Legend, which they charge $200 a month, and joining my team, I'll cut that cost in half. But for the average person, you have to have that. So if you're spending money on lead gen, I don't think that the real estate agent should be the first person to contact the lead. I just don't. It needs to be some sort of automation, because you're not going to do it. And I talk to too many people who are like, well, I'll just give it a shot and try it on my own. No, you're going to waste your money, and then you're going to be pissed off, and then you're just going to quit lead gen altogether. Right. So you need to have that first contact in place to make sure, if nothing else, verify the lead, because I'm not trying to say like I'm the best thing ever. I still get Mickey Mouse leads and, below me and all the stuff that people put online. It's not like every single lead is awesome, but the leads that come in that are
read Greg's Facebook stream.
What's that?
Message. that was just was just Greg's Facebook message stream.
Yeah. But yeah, so having that automatic, the follow up, you have to have the whole car,
right,
to play the game.
Yes, that is the message here. You need all three components.
You need the frame, you need the engine, you need the gas. If you don't have all three, just forget it. Don't do it. Stay home and do something else.
Yes, we talked about this in pre-show. What people are looking to do is they believe that if they see someone like Jeff Cohn or another top team leader driving a Mercedes, that he has Boomtown, he has Commissions Inc., whatever. What they don't see is they don't see all the other stuff that goes around it that actually makes that viable. And so they try to get out of the lead conversion piece of actually having to pick up the phone, actually having systems, actually having a way to convert the leads. They try to get out of that by buying a more expensive vehicle for generating online leads. The problem is that doesn't actually work. And when you look and actually dig into the business models of the top team leaders around the country, the only reason they have a Mercedes, so-called, is like a Boomtown. The only reason they have that is because they have all the other stuff. And in fact, most of the time they had the other stuff first. Sure. Or at least they built Boomtown and then very, very quickly figured out, okay, crap, I got to have these other two pieces to actually make this work. And they had the capital and they had the stick-to-itiveness to actually build out the other two pieces. Most agents don't. And so rather than trying to get out of having the lead conversion piece by buying a nicer Mercedes, let's actually have something that will actually drive, and actually get you to where you want to go.
Corolla, get the Kia. And if you drive a Kia and you love it, I'm not, we have a Kia minivan. It's cool. I love it. It's nice. I'm not trying to offend anybody.
You got like 17 kids.
Yeah, it's 17. It's close. 3. But yeah, it seems like 17 sometimes.
Sorry, it would feel like 17 to me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just the point is get something that you can use on a daily basis. Don't wait for the future. Yeah. Don't think that if you get something that the biggest team leader in the world has, that you're going to be successful because you don't have all the keys. You don't have everything included. So that's the main point.
Yeah, agreed. Well, cool, guys. So first of all, where do people go to connect with you, learn more about what you're doing, and what's the main place you want to send people?
realestatemarketingrockstars.com will take you straight to our Facebook page. It's a free group. Like I said, I love to connect with anybody who wants to join and find out more about how to be a ninja in your marketplace. I actually, it's funny because I just had a client on, today's Wednesday, on Monday, call me, and I was telling them, we need to build your brand. You want to build a brand, and you want to be a rock star. And I'm like, go to local businesses once a week and shoot a video. And this is a client. I mean, it's not like somebody I'm just, randomly doing stuff for. But I said, do the video. I'll edit it for you. We'll publish it. We'll retarget people. And it'll be a very short period of time before you're known in your town. And he's like, man, these videos are pain in the ass. He's like, I see some people liking them and stuff, but I don't really have much traction yet. And it's been 2 months. And I get a phone call from him on Monday. And he goes, dude, did you see my Facebook page the other day? I said, no. He's like, there's a girl in there that said that I should be the mayor because I see you everywhere. And he's like, and I was just in the gym that day. And he's like, dude, I see your videos everywhere. He was like, I don't know what happened. It was like all of a sudden it just blew up, and I'm getting people calling me and telling me, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I told you it's going to take a couple months. But everybody that's in your sphere, everybody that goes to your Facebook page, everybody that goes to your website, when you start retargeting those people and building that brand and having content that's not just, hey, I sold a house this week. It's, hey, I'm in front of, Giovanni's Steakhouse, and this is the best place to be, and I know the owner, and he's awesome, and you guys should check this out too. And by the way, if you need to buy or sell real estate, give me a call.
Yes.
Those type of messages, I mean, he's killing it. He's getting people coming out of the woodworks and thinking he's like this huge successful agent. He just started.
Well, Nick, you just nailed it on the head. And you know what? You and I need to take that same advice, because we both need to get out of our offices and go to Giovanni's Steakhouse. We need to go to the Thai restaurants. We need to go to the sushi place. We need to go out, be public, be seen, because that's your opportunity. Instagram stories, Instagram posts. That's shush, Eileen. Shush, woman.
Yeah, Boxer.
Yes, Boxer. I'm like, oh, God, what's happening? But, I mean, think about this. But you can also then go another layer with that, Nick, and you can go get the system called Coop Out. We've talked about it before, and create a coupon for the organization, run it, put $5-10 behind it, and now you're being seen, you're helping a business, and the law of reciprocity kicks in. And, Nick, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to kick my own ass. I am. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to start doing this, because to get the traction, to get the viewership, you have to be around town. You have to be like the mayor of the town. I mean, Gene Volpe talks about one of his systems, the best of, making you the visible digital mayor. I mean, I think It's just a no-brainer.
And so we're running out of time, and I'm going to make it another. We made the car analogy, and one thing that I'm doing with a beta group right now is building a 6-week course. And not only am I showing people how to do step-by-step exactly the steps that it takes in 6 weeks to go from I've never marketed before to killing it in your marketplace, and you should be closing at least 2 deals a month. That's my goal for everybody in the group through online marketing. And so to take that 6-week course, but one of the bonuses of that course, which I'm teaching people, is how to go to local businesses and have them make your car payment for you. And this seems crazy, and it's not real estate related, but everybody in the group has had what's called a $500 challenge. And there's thousands and thousands of businesses in your marketplace that have no freaking clue about social media. And you yourself as an agent, part of our job, half of our job responsibility is marketing. We are marketing people's houses for sale. We should be viewed as marketing experts. I know we are talking about marketing when we're at listing appointments about how awesome we are, but you should be going to your local business. And with my help, I'm showing them a specific ad that you can run for a local business to blow their business up, and they'll pay you up to $500 a month to do it, and or give you every single referral that ever comes through their business, because they appreciate you so much for helping them with their marketing. And it's so stupid, drop dead simple. There's teenagers out there that are doing this as a business, and I'm teaching agents how to do it. Let me just help you make your car payment. How about that? If you didn't want to do anything else, and aside from doing real estate leads. So
yes. Again,
it's a really cool thing. Before we go, so one thing I want to do for your viewers is actually, we talked about funnels. I've collected 10 of my best sales funnels, and I want to give it to you guys, your viewers, for free. And I'm actually giving this offer to you guys first. I haven't even put this in my Facebook group yet. I actually just worked on it last night. So 10 of my highest converting funnels that I've been using for years and years, I've packaged them up with a nice little bow, and I'm giving it to anybody who wants it absolutely for free. All you got to do is go to funnels2leads.com, and you can download those sales funnels directly into your account and start creating leads immediately.
Wow.
Awesome.
That is awesome. Shit, Brian. We did not know that was coming, guys. So that is really awesome, Nick. I appreciate it, man. This is a man that gives, guys. Go support him. Go buy shit from him. He wants to make you money. He's a business. He's going to make a little bit of money, but that's the way the world works, and he's bringing so much value just in this 1 hour. Imagine what he can do in 6 weeks. Really. What could he do for you in 6 weeks? All right, Matt, let's put a little bow on this bad boy. So you guys, if you want to talk to me about EXP, joining my team, look, I'm going to be real blunt. I want you on my freaking team. End of story. I want you on my EXP team. Get off the fence. Come and talk to me. Go to bookmcdaniel.com. If you're watching, it's right on your screen. If you're listening, I just told you where to go. Go to bookmcdaniel.com, and I want to have you on my team. Let's see if it's a good fit, because it is a, and I'm going to work on Nick. We're gonna work on Nick coming over to the dark side. But
they've been trying. My tongue is still red, but who knows? I don't know.
I don't know when to ask why. I don't want you doing your off time, buddy.
It's the Kool-Aid, man. He loves the Kool-Aid.
I know. But guys, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Book a date today. Matt, you're up.
Yeah, so 2 things. Wise Hire, if you're looking to build a team, that is a fantastic way for you to get your ads out there, market specifically for the type of person that you're looking for, send them through a disc profile assessment so that the only people that reach you that you worry about and reach out to and have a communication with is the people that are already pre-screened, that are matched up by disc profile as being a very good fit for your role. So that is a great way to spur your hiring if you're looking for a buyer agent, if you're looking for admin people to help. Even if you're a single top producer agent and you're looking to take the first steps into building a team with just an admin person first, even if it's just part-time, you don't mess around. Go to Wise Hire and start there. That way you're not wasting time with people who aren't a good fit. And so if you're not a disc profile authority, do not do it yourself. Go to Wise Hire. And then I was just actually got off a really fun podcast earlier with Jeff Cohn. We've talked about him a lot on the episode. If you want to plug into the weekly team trainings that Jeff runs for his team, which is the top producing team in the entire state of Nebraska, they will probably sell over 1,000 homes this year. They do twice a week, Wednesday and Friday, trainings for their team in their 50,000 square foot office in Omaha that you can actually plug right into. It's all super high def audio and video. It's multi-$1,000 system that they went and installed in their office so that you can join in and actually chat and be essentially plug into the team. And so you can get that through erslivestream.com. Just go to eliterealestatesystems.com, click on live stream. You can learn more. You can see samples. You can actually see complete previous trainings. And that's something that you can plug in into every Wednesday, Friday. And if you're a team leader listening to this and you want to provide that kind of training to your team, it's ridiculously low priced. It's a lot more cost effective than hiring somebody to train your agents for you or spending 3, 5, 10 hours a week trying to do this yourself. So again, the theme is stop doing things yourself. Get out there and actually talk to people, and let's close some deals.
Stop being yourself.
Stop being yourself.
Stop
Get
being
unstuck.
yourself, damn it.
That's right.
Unless you're on Instagram, and then be yourself.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
So we're talking out of both sides of our mouths. All right. Confusing the shit out of people on a weekly basis. Brought to you by Real Estate Uncensored. Dude, you guys, thank you so much for showing up. Nick, seriously, man, no bullshit. You really rock the house, man. We love having you on. We're going to have you back more. You bring so much value, so much transparency, and you bring just genuine, wanting to help people, and we love that about this show. So thank you very much. Matt, it is your turn to pick the color of the bow.
Oh, well, in honor of Nick's lovely polo, I think we should put a royal blue bow on this episode.
Love it.
Royal blue bow it is, guys. Well, guys, hey, we love you. We bring people like this to you so you guys can crush it in your marketplaces. Please act on the information that we bring you, or otherwise it's like pissing in the wind. It does no good for anyone involved. But you know what? We're going to come back. We're going to have more badass stuff coming down the pipe, guys. But until then, peace out, ninjas!